So imagine that there's a lower self and then there's a higher self. And I'm operating in both dimensions right now. So there's a part of me that's driving to work, my lower self, and my higher self is up here talking to you right now. Just wave to a cop. Both selves, right? Now, this higher self sees things that my lower self doesn't, right? So you have, everyone has a higher self. Not everyone has the bandwidth to access the data and information from their higher self to their lower self. They got like little cables, right? So they got like little cables and they're trying to get all this information through this little cable. And what they need is a bigger cable, right? The people that have the big cables that are able to get information from their higher self to their avatar down here working a 9 to 5, where the rich get richer and poor get poorer, the larger amount of information, or light, if you will, that gets transferred down, the higher the bandwidth. Those individuals are what we call Christs, right? They're just pretty much doing what their higher self would do on the planet. And their higher self, our higher self, when you pull it all up together, is quote unquote source. All there is, spirit. So we're all spiritual beings having a human experience. But our spiritual bandwidth is very small. So we get very little information and we're told this, that, and the other. You have a direct line to your higher self, to your source. Sometimes you experience it as that voice, that something, something told me to do that. Something, just meditate and pay attention to that something. It's hard to do that when you have a lot of other noise down here to focus on this part of it. So Victor Bang, victory over noise, signifies that as well. There's a lot of noise down here that keeps you distracted from coming up here. So part of my power, part of my ability, because I'm kind of teaching on both levels. I'm teaching a class about higher consciousness on this standpoint and down here. So I'm connected to you up here and I can relay messages to you down here from up here. And I do that. That's one of the abilities that I have. Also, you have granted me your higher self's power to operate down here because I've been shown trustworthy enough, and you feel confident in my ability to be able to relay the message down here so that you can claim that power back. So I'm borrowing your power to give it to you, to empower you so that now you're up here and your higher self's talking. So I'm just talking to a phantom of your higher self and they're like, yeah, he's right. We allowed him to get some of our power to come down here to give it to me so I can actually be here and talking. Maybe someone want to be here talking one day, right? Maybe not. But you get the idea, right? So that's what's going on here. And if you're seeing this, then you probably have a larger bandwidth to get information from your higher self. The earlier you're seeing this, the later you're seeing this, then you're going to be along with the others that are just going to be surprised by the other things that are going to happen. But all of that is going to get eyes focused on this, focused on the potential of their higher self, and they're going to be like, yeah, they're paying attention to me. And then they're going to jump down and increase that bandwidth to you. And you'll be on your journey to becoming your own Christ, and you'll have a whole different experience of life. And you'll be able to awaken in this matrix and see it from a different perspective. Spiritual being having a human experience. Spiritual being having a human experience. And the spiritual part of you is supernatural, right? Yeah. And we can talk about this from a scientific standpoint. It still doesn't matter. Where consciousness, experience, and physicality works the same way. We can even talk about it from a simulation standpoint, bandwidth, all that stuff, but it is real. So buckle up. We're increasing the bandwidth. We're leveling up. Consciousness 2.0, that's what we're talking about. Peace, y'all.